Hello, this is F. Welcome to episode 41 of my Ottoman Empire campaign. Last episode, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth crossed into Ottoman lands east of Warsaw. Ardabil mobilized to break our siege, and the African army marched towards Tripoli. Today, the Moscow garrison sallies in a bold attempt to lift our siege. A brief musket engagement wipes out the last of the Persian defenders at Ardabil. Elsewhere in Ukraine, another Russian task force is encountered, and Azerbaijani rebels gather in the mountains west of Ardabil. These forces must all be dealt with swiftly to secure our lines and protect civilian life. Let's get into it. Welcome back to another episode. We have the Northern Line engaging with the Russian garrison at Moscow. I believe the Russian garrison contains 4 line infantry units, so they will be a hindrance to our forces, at least in the initial engagements. The Northern Army still makes use of Israelis as the bulk of our line infantry, with again an equivalent amount of Bilek Janissaries. So we'll just have to be mindful of the Russian line infantry, especially as they have the fire by rank technology. We also need to try and look at taking out the cannons of the Russian forces. They have 2 cannon units. We have the one, so we are at a slight disadvantage in terms of cannon firepower. But I think if we can get our single unit of Mamluk cavalry around the enemy flanks, we can hit them from behind and take out their cannons. We also need to be mindful. Our previous engagement with the Persians, I believe, really was mismanaged by the general, where we nearly lost our cannon unit, so we need to definitely make sure that our cannons are protected in this encounter with the Russians. So the terrain is quite hilly. It can make for both good and bad exchange of cannon fire as well as musket shots. So that's definitely something we need to be mindful of with our units positioned where they are on the hill on the far left of the battlefield. So the Russian forces are moving their cannons in. As you can see, they have horse-drawn cannons. That's something that the Ottoman Empire does not benefit in terms of the level of cavalry that can move their cannons. I believe they only get the 1 set of cavalry units for their cannons, for those that are not fixed. But I believe most of the Ottoman are fixed and therefore have very limited maneuverability in terms of active deployment on the battlefield. So the enemy is moving forward. They've got their cavalry launching a charge across the battlefield. Both cavalry units are moving. This unit happens to be the closest. They're heading straight for the cannons, it looks like. Will the cannons be able to fire at them, or what is happening? Come on guys, get ready to fire. The cannons are firing in the wrong direction. Cavalry have been hit by like Janissaries, I believe, and there's another lot of cavalry straight into the cannons, and that canister shot having no effect whatsoever on the enemy cavalry. We have some line infantry, Israelis. They are hidden by the woodlands, and they are taking out some of the cavalry units, and that first cavalry squadron is now fleeing away from enemy lines, and the cannons are coming back into play. That was a poor show. Quite a number of units killed on the cannon side of things, down to 17 men from 24, so that is a significant hit. Although it must be said, we have taken out, I believe, one of the enemy cannons already, and we've just received a cannon shot to the face by one of our Israeli units. So that's not good. They down 1 man. Okay, let's see if we can bring our Mamluks towards the enemy cannons. We're not specifically targeting the cannons, just to delay any reaction from the enemy. Their cavalry is moving back towards our line as their line infantry move forward. Come on cannons. Okay, so the enemy cannons have just fired off. They did lose one of their cannons in the initial engagement with our forces, but we'll look to take them out promptly. We'll keep canister shot on for now, and yep, the Mamluk cavalry are just into the Russian cannons. They'll dispatch them swiftly, so that would be good. And then we just need to deal with the last Russian cannon on the far right, or on the far left of our flank. So on this right flank, our Mamluk cavalry will take out those Russian forces. We have some firelock armed citizenry near the far cannon section, so we just need to be mindful of them when we march our forces to that left flank. Our cannons continue to fire cannon shot, but to no avail. At this range, very few units, if any, will be impacted by those cannon fire, or by the cannon fire. Let's have a look, see. Okay, so there's the other unit of Russian cannons. They are surrounded by firelock armed citizenry, so we'll need to be mindful of them. And that cannon continues to fire at our troops. Now, most of our troops, especially the Bielak Janissaries, are protected by a trench, so that is helpful in that sense, that hopefully that causes the enemy cannonballs to ricochet past our men and protecting them from any major injuries. There will be a similar effect when we engage with units with muskets. The musket shots should be deflected off or neutered by the embankment of those trenches. Okay, so Russian forces are still continuing to move towards our line. They are holding slightly out of musket fire range. Continue to move our Mamluk cavalry up. Just need to keep an eye on the enemy units. We've got round shot employed once again, try and target the enemy cavalry units. Okay, some time has passed and we're just repositioning our forces, just to try and close the gap with the Russian infantry. Move our units forward. Now, we do have some desert warriors, which aren't too bad in terms of their stats, but they are not the best units, and we definitely do not want them to face a full charge by the Russian cavalry. And again, at this stage, the Russians continue to maneuver out of position and into position as they try to confuse our cannons and confuse our men with what their actual plan of attack is. Now, as our units adjust into position, just keep an eye on the Russian forces. So they do have their cavalry to the rear of their lines, and it looks like the Russians are moving forward once again. Enemy cannons having minimal impact on our forces. That is still positive, while we still harass their line infantry. So some units coming into canister shot range. Come on guys, let's see if you guys can take them out. We need to cripple those line infantry units, and we're definitely not equipped to face them full hug on this battlefield, especially with half of our forces being the Israeli irregular line infantry. And musket fire has begun across the left flank of the battlefield. Russian forces are now moving earnestly forward. We need to just make sure our cannons are prepared to engage the Russian line infantry. Come on guys, that's it. Fire at will. As soon as the enemy's in range, just take them out. Okay, we're maneuvering our forces just slightly closer to the Russians. Oh, those Russian units with their fire by rank capabilities. And it looks like the Russian cannons are maneuvering closer to the enemy, to our lines I should say. We have canister shot going off, and some Russian forces very close to our cannons once again. We've got firelock armed citizenry and a mix of line infantry, so I think they're going to go straight for our cannons again. They're way too close for comfort. Fire cannons, fire. You guys didn't fire. Fire! What are you guys doing? Fire your cannon shots. Oh, that was right to the face, and they are fleeing. No, they are not fleeing. We're sending our grenadiers in. No, sorry, not grenadiers. We don't have grenadiers. Sending in our Samart Janissaries. Sending the Samart Janissaries, the swordmen. They're going into battle. The enemy cannons are being taken out as we speak, so that was the last shot of theirs for this battle. And our forces are continuing to harass enemy line infantry across the frontier of the battlefield. Let's reposition our Samart Janissaries back. Come on guys, get back. See if we can get our cannons back into play just to pick off any fleeing Russian forces. Oh, those Russian line infantry. Dangerous. Okay, let's move the cavalry out. It looks like we have some citizenry units moving in. Okay, we've got these units of line infantry. Let's move them forward. The Israelis, they're not actually, most of them are not even in battle at this point. You guys turn yourself to reposition. We do not want any friendly fire in this engagement. Reposition and take out those enemy cavalry. Come on guys. Let's reposition you guys, move forward. Whoa, that was a potentially good shot against enemy cavalry. Okay, so Russian forces seem to be shattered on several fronts, and they're continuing to maneuver around, trying to get away from the battlefield. Let's reposition our Israelis just to try and tighten the noose against the Russians. So they are moving off. Let's get our round shot back out. Some Russian forces are coming back into play. We'll reposition our desert warriors up so they can at least gain some additional experience, and we'll move our general unit up on the right flank as well. Enemy cavalry heading towards our... Well, they're moving. They're just coming towards the end of our left flank. Let's reposition our troops. Come on guys, let's get you guys up. You guys are just outside of range. And the cavalry are heading away from our men. We were too slow to react there. Let's get our Mamluks up to try and take out enemy forces that continue to flee the battlefield. And we'll move our Israeli line forward again, just to try and close off any potential escape by the Russians. Our cannons are continuing to fire. They're down to 14 men. They are still holding on for dear life. We've lost 10 men so far. I think, okay, yeah, let's call the cannons off and let's just move our line infantry up. Just try and close the gap as much as possible. Okay, we'll bring all our forces forward, see how we can just close off that gap. And I'm confident that our forces should be able to hold with any of the cavalry, should the cavalry decide to engage us. Our Mamluk cavalry continue to gain experience as they take our fleeing Russian forces. Let's see if we can move you guys forward a little bit more. And the enemy cavalry continue to maneuver forward. Let's get you guys forward as well. Come on guys, move, move, move. Run like your life depended on it. Okay, yeah, I think if we can cut across, that should make it easier for us to pin down the Russian forces. And we've got our general unit. You take out those guys. You continue to run down Cossacks. Oh, maybe, yeah, when you finish with the Cossacks, we'll go after those line infantry. Our units are firing at will where there are enemy forces. Let's get you guys forward, and we're slowly closing the noose against the Russians. Some Russian cavalry running up the hill. We need to just be mindful of whatever they do, as we have our Mamluk cavalry nearby. You guys take out those Line infantry, very good. And we're just trying to deplete the Russian forces as much as we can while we attempt to crush this army. And this is our like 10th millionth time attacking the Russian forces in Moscow. We were able to destroy their fort, so they do not currently have a fort of which they can hide behind. So it makes it a little bit easier for us to cripple their forces, and I think the enemy cavalry are now fleeing the battlefield. Let's get you guys forward. Move, move, move. I know you guys are exhausted, but you need to seal this off and just take out as many Russian soldiers as possible. Okay, you guys need to move forward. You guys are fleeing. Okay, let's get you guys forward. Okay, looks like more Russian forces are fleeing the battlefield. Okay, you need to just run down the enemy. Okay, so we've pretty much won the battle. Looks like all Russian forces are fleeing. We only have the 2 units of cavalry, so we will probably miss much of the Russian army as it retreats from the battlefield. But no matter, as long as we can capture the city, we can hopefully sue for peace with the Russians. It's something we've been trying to do for the last however many turns, and they will not accept a peace from us. So hopefully if we can crush them here, that will give the Russian king the opportunity, or the Tsar, the opportunity to acquiesce to peace and let some semblance of quiet return to the Russian border. But I must say, they are stubborn. They are definitely stubborn. Once we've captured the capital, they are not suing for peace whatsoever. So they're definitely made of a different material, these Russians. Okay, let's go. Let's run them down, guys. Mamluk's doing a good job, like cavalry, just speeding away, running down the enemy. And then we have our general supporting as well. So overall, not a bad engagement. Most of our units are not significantly depleted with the exception of our cannons. So again, overall, I don't expect this to be a very high casualty battle, especially with the fact that we have quite a lot of units that they're hid behind the trenches and weren't hit directly by enemy fire or the enemy cannons. So yeah, I am confident that this will be a low level of deaths for us, but again, any deaths that we can prevent are the best kind of deaths. So let's continue to run them down. I think once we're back in the campaign map, we can take stock of what's happened so far since the last episode, and that was an heroic victory, or a heroic victory, and there are only 95 men killed. It's still a large number of men, but significantly below that 10% threshold, so I'm really pleased with that. So the Russians were taken out. I don't think they'll be able to mount much of a resistance to us, and got 18 men want to launch an assault against 1518, which is fine by me. I mean, I don't mind sending another 1500 men after these guys, but for fun we'll just jump in and we'll send one of our Nazim-i-Sadit forces forward and just see if they can make short work of this little Persian resistance. These are the last official troops of the Persian Empire. Come forces, let's go, let's go. You guys are running. Get into position and enjoy the view. And that was all she wrote. And that was it. Heroic victory. No losses and 18 men gone in the span of a few seconds. They literally stood no chance whatsoever. And we have captured Ardabil in Azerbaijan, but I believe it means because we captured it that turn early, yeah, we do not have the sublime port in Azerbaijan, so that's unfortunate. So we've got a new settlement in Persia, additional settlements coming, more traits for our leaders. Persia has officially been destroyed. We've captured Azerbaijan. We have workers on strike in Azerbaijan, and we've managed to capture Moscow as well. I mean, that is good turn of events. But we don't want Moscow. We definitely do not want Moscow. We're replenishing our forces in Tripoli. We'll soon get ready to send our units across towards Tunis in due course. But again, most of this turn I think we'll look at just taking stock of where we are, redeploy our troops, replenish our forces, and get some infrastructure going. Okay, so it's still quite high, so I expect there will be rebels at some point if we do not get the public order under control soon enough. We have taken out our Nazim-e-Sadit forces just to send them back to Isfahan in case the Maratha Confederacy decide to launch an attack against us. And as you can see, we are just doing some punitive decrees against the Russians just to force them to invest in infrastructure instead of military expenditure over the coming years. So if we can cripple the region of Muscovy, then they'll need to spend some time rebuilding what they once had. It has been 43 years now since the start of the campaign, so this will be a big blow to the Russians for sure. They still do not want to accept peace treaty, and as you can see, we are also at war with Poland once more, the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. We need to get our forces out and just see if we can just harass the the Polish forces as best as we can. We need to prepare for any eventual attack that might come. I know their forces are severely depleted, but I think if we can move our units up, let's get you guys up there, get you guys into there, and then we can look to, if they won't accept peace now, we will look to strike at their territories. Oh, okay, we spoke too soon. They've sued for peace, fine. We probably should have just hit them harder and taken out Minsk from the equation as well. Let's just, we'll just destroy these buildings in Moscow. We need to repair the capital building at Tripoli as well, probably do that next turn when we have a bit more income. And we'll also continue to look at technological development for the empire. We need to also focus a lot more infrastructure in building up our road infrastructure, as well as any wealth generating buildings as well. Let's see, we've got Hashashin dead and General dead. Okay, that's not ideal. Let's bring you back into the fold. No, we don't want 15 generals. We'll leave the generals for now, I think. Let's see, can we request peace with the Russians? Try and gift them technology, military access. Okay, they don't want peace, so yeah, we'll leave it for now. I mean, the public unrest in Moscow still remains so high that I doubt they will look to go to peace anytime soon. Could we gift Moscow to the Swedes? Oh, and they took it. I mean, I don't know if they'll be able to hold on to the territory, but they took it from us. so that's fine. We'll look to crush that Russian force to our southwest. But yeah, so Sweden is holding on at the moment. They haven't been able to capture St. Petersburg, and they've lost Riga, so they are definitely on a slight back foot at the moment. No, I don't think we need to. Yeah, we don't need to upgrade the Israelis, that's for sure. We can look at upgrading our other units, but we won't look to upgrade the Israelis for now. And I think if we get our forces back into we'll get our forces back to where they should be. Get you guys in there. And we'll just reposition some forces just along the frontier, just to ensure that we have cities adequately defended. And it looks like Spain has also joined war with Poland-Lithuania, which is interesting. I think Spain is at war with the Russians, so that makes a bit of sense there. We need to repair that unit, or that building. And we still have some high unrest as well in Ardabil. You guys go back, I think. Yeah, I think you guys go back, because there will probably be a rebellion soon if we're not careful. Baku. Oh, there's another school in Baku. Okay, we'll definitely get rid of that school. That should help with unrest for sure. Okay, that's fine. How's everything looking? Still no major movements along North Africa. Looks like the Spanish forces have depleted somewhat, but our income is still significantly lower than normal, so we are at peace currently with Poland-Lithuania. Can we get peace with Britain? Britain do not want peace with us. We currently are not at war with any of the minor powers. But we'll end the turn here and see what transpires. We definitely do not want to sign any trade agreements with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth just yet. Russian forces are coming in to raid our towns across central Ukraine, so we do need to put a stop to them as well. And it looks like the Russians have just captured Moscow from the Swedes, so that was a very short-lived exercise, and there are rebels in Azerbaijan as well. So let's get the port repaired. We'll have to, I mean, there's only 37. Let's leave the guys in there for now while the port gets repaired. We've got some rebels, not many units in this rebel group. Okay, we can't reach them just yet, so we'll leave them there for now. So Russian forces are moving down towards Don Bosco, so we need to keep an eye on them. Let's see, do we need to split up our forces? So we'll get you guys coming down to engage those Russians, and we'll divide our army into two. Let's take out these Russian forces terrorizing central Ukraine. Now, the balance of power, we are slightly more. The balance of power is slightly more in our favour. We have nearly double the amount of troops they have, but they do have at least 3 units of line infantry, which is again can really hit us hard when it comes to engaging with their line infantry. It's quite murky, this battlefield, so I think we need to just try and move forward, try and hit the Russians. We have the little village before us. We'll just need to try and use the buildings to our advantage and see if we can take out as many of the Russians as possible before they overwhelm our forces. So we are leading the offensive, so we need to push our units forward. So again, it's going to be a staggered maneuver forward just to make sure that our units are in position. And again, we want to have as many units as possible filling up our lines just to try and counter the fibre rank technology that the Russians have. Come on guys, move forward. The terrain's a bit uneven, but you guys can do this. Let's go. They do have a unit of cavalry, I believe, so we just need to be mindful of their positioning on the battlefield. I believe the cavalry are currently on our extreme right flank, but we'll bring our Mamluks up just to counter any potential cavalry charge, and we'll also push up our Samat Janissaries on our right flank, sorry, on our left flank, just in case we need their additional support from the sword units when we engage the enemy musketry. Okay, we have stretched our line out quite far, so hopefully this can do us justice, and that is not ideal. Let's stop you guys. That is not ideal at all. We'll just have to manually move you guys forward. You are currently way out of position. No guys, not that way. You're not moving that way. Move forward towards the enemy. Oh, and you guys are out of position as well. Oh man, that's crazy. Come on guys, reform the line. We're heading you closer to the enemy forces. So we've also moved our general to our far left flank just to provide additional support with the enemy muskets or the line infantry in case we need it. Okay, the Russians aren't budging at all, so our units in this engagement will probably be tired or winded by the time they engage the enemy in battle, and we'll just need to be mindful of the morale shocks they might receive when the enemy open fire on our forces. Okay, we'll bring you guys in. We'll start making use of the little village buildings just to protect our units from any cavalry engagement. We'll move you guys there, and then we'll get our Mamluk cavalry just behind as well. It's like a slow creep, almost like, can you imagine from World War I, the slow march forward, trying to avoid the enemy as much as possible until the very last moment. Okay, you guys get closer, and it looks like the enemy are going to start pulling back. That's not what we want to see. We do not want to see the enemy pulling back. Okay, you guys move forward. And the enemy cavalry no guys, that's not where we positioned you. Come on, run forward and we'll get you guys there. That's not the most ideal location for our desert warriors, but should the enemy cavalry come in, we will use our Mamluk cavalry to countercharge them. Okay, you guys need to move significantly forward. We're still so far from the enemy line, and they're not even budging forward to say hello to us. Give us a common courtesy of it, just a general Russian hello. We have trounced them, to be fair, in most of the engagements throughout the course of this campaign, so they will definitely be reluctant to get too close to our units. Let's move our forces up. This is just a real slow trudge forward. We need to be bold and just send the line units in. Okay, there is engagement already. Battle Janissaries are down to 142 men. They are on the periphery. Let's move you guys forward. And enemy cavalry and other units are moving away from our right flank. Come on guys, get into position. What is that? That's not even a standard position. Okay, we've got more units firing now. Let's move up our Samat Janissaries. Enemy cavalry do not know where they're going. They're just marching left to right, left to right. Let's get you guys forward so you guys can hit the enemy cavalry or any other units that get too close. Okay, we're just going to continuously march our units forward ever so slightly. Our Bielek Janissaries are down to 126 men. The Russians are losing some men as well. Guys, that's not the real formation. Come on, get into line. Okay, we'll move our Mamluk cavalry up. Well, we're really getting hit hard there, guys. Enemy cavalry are right by our Israelis. Enemy cavalry do not know where they are going. I think they might be fleeing now. I think they're finally broken. Okay, a few cavalry units have taken hits. Our Janissaries are moving forward. And it looks like the enemy forces are fleeing. At this stage, let's move you guys and reposition you. Look at that, enemy cavalry units, or general units going up to hit the enemy in the side. Those that are fleeing, and we can continue to push our forces up now. The Russian line is crumbling under the weight of the Ottoman Empire's forces. Come on, General, come on. Why are you stuck going through our men? You guys move out of position. General ran down those soldiers. Come on, guys. We've done this 1,000 times. Okay, we continue to push the advantage, just getting our forces closer and closer to encircling the Russians. We have our cavalry behind the enemy line now, and there's only a handful of Russian forces left to remove from this battlefield. We're going to start getting our men into close range, and that should cripple the Russian forces promptly. Looks like the enemy cavalry came back as well. Our general unit has taken a few casualties. The Russian forces are now fleeing the battlefield. So there are quite a lot of Russian cavalry there, 24 units there. Still most of the unit count. Okay, it looks like the Russian forces are mostly now fleeing. We have one unit of line infantry, looks like, still in play. Okay, let's get you guys forward. Get our general in, and then we'll get our Mamluk cavalry in as well. And it looks like Russian forces are now fleeing fully. Okay, and that was a victory. So we have lost quite a few men. We'll double check the stats when we get out of the battle map, and we're just running down the last of the Russian forces for this engagement. So overall, I don't think it was a bad battle. It was a decisive victory, which is what more could you want besides heroic victory. Let's see, we lost 86 men, so yeah, a lot lower than I thought. I thought it might have been close to that 10% mark, but just below 10%, which is definitely what we want to see for these smaller engagements. Russian forces are moving away. We can look to eventually repair those buildings within those villages. See if we can replenish our forces from the northern army. That's it. Moscow is back under Russian control. Let's see if we can sue for peace with the Russians before they get to Don Bosco, because that would be... oh, and they have sued for peace. Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, so we've maneuvered our forces out of Russian territory. They have sued for peace. Okay, that's fine. We have some peace now on our borders. Wow. It's been a long time coming since we had peace with the Russians. I don't expect it to be long-lived. The same with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. I don't expect it to be long-lived. But we finally have some peace, so we can definitely focus on replenishing our forces and continue to build infrastructure and wealth in those regions now. And I suspect... oh, they're on the move. So we've got a new scholar recruited. Let's get him down. So where we've got 2 and 3, so Konya. Okay, we'll bring our scholar down towards Kozani, and then we'll ship them over to Ankara with the fleet. Got Rumelia has had its roads upgraded, so that's good. That's what we want to see. We saw the death of our scholar and additional traits gained by our generals and ministers. So the Azerbaijani rebels are terrorizing some of the farmland, so we'll repair those. We'll get a madrasa up just to improve public order, and I think we need to look to take these guys out. So there's 2 desert warriors, 3 bowmen, and then some armed populace. So yeah, peasantry. So not a strong army at all, and the expectation is that we'll be able to take them out swiftly. That should be the expectation. It is raining, so that might affect our accuracy, but we do have 6 units of some Nazim-e-Sadit warriors, so they should definitely fare pretty good against the enemy line, or the enemy infantry I should say at this stage, especially when it comes to looking at the enemy militia. We have 4 units of Israelis, so again we'll look to send those forces north when the time comes, just to put them on the Russian frontier, and as I said, eventually we'll look to replace them all with Nazim-e-Sadit warriors, providing we have the financial backing to do so. We do have 2 units of Delhi horsemen, and I believe our enemy units have no cavalry in this engagement, so that's a bonus for us. Some light, fast moving cavalry with the ability to fire shot as well. We'll get our Delhi horsemen on either flank of our forces, and we'll just monitor the situation as the enemy forces move forward. Okay, we're just getting our units into position. I suspect we might engage in some melee combat again. The AI loves running their units straight into our Nazim-e-Sadit forces. So again, hopefully, if nothing else, our warriors or our line infantry can benefit from additional experience gaining in this battle. Let's stretch the line as much as we can to ensure that we get maximum number of units engaging in the firefight. And I think our line might extend slightly beyond that of the enemies, which is good. We should be able to get behind them and then cut off any form of retreat. And hopefully as we push our forces forward, the enemy won't keep retreating back. We've got some units coming in. Man, rebel forces are just pushing or moving themselves backwards, just keeping out of direct line of sight of our Nazim-e-Sadit warriors. And hold on, they might be coming back. Let's move you guys forward. Oh, gunfire has started on the far right flank, and we have gunfire here too. Come on guys. Okay, they've moved out of range. Let's get our cavalry in as well. Third line of Nazim-e-Sadit firing onto the desert warriors. Let's get you guys forward so you guys can support as well. We have a massive enemy running down the hill. If these Nazim-e-Sadit could just fire, the death rates would be catastrophic, and that would definitely shudder or shake the enemy. But nope, they're running in for melee combat. Oh man, they're running in for melee combat again. Come on guys, you need to be faster with your reloads. Definitely need to be faster with your reloads. Let's reform the line so you can provide fire, cover support for your comrades in arms. We'll get our cavalry behind enemy lines as well. Let's see, our Nazim warriors are taking some punishment. Enemy units are fleeing the battlefield, so we'll get those Delhi horsemen running after them. We'll move those Nazim-e-Sadit on our far right flank up. And looks like the enemy now is fleeing, so we'll get our Nazim warriors forward. Come on line infantry. Reload, aim and fire. Good lads, good lads. Just send those volleys through to the enemy. Okay. Continue to maneuver our forces up the hill, and it looks like most of the rebel army is now in full retreat. We'll get our Nazim Isadid up as well, just to continue to pressure those forces as they flee the battlefield. Oh, it looks like those warriors came back, the desert warriors, and our general has killed the enemy general. And yep, it looks like they are now all fleeing the battlefield. Let's try and take as many of the enemy forces out as possible. You guys go after them. And as enemy flee, I doubt we will have made much progress in terms of unit experience, especially for the Nazim Isadid forces. I expect our cavalry to get the bulk of any potential experience updates or upgrades. One thing the units don't benefit from in Empire is buildings that support unit defense or attack, besides the stats improvement or the experience improvement, which I think improves the reload time or reload speed. But that's a heroic victory, so that's what we want to see. So the battle stats should be quite favourable for us with this engagement. So yeah, 47 units lost, so that's nearly nothing at all. A few Nazim Isadid in the melee combat, I suspect. And now with the rebels gone, we should be able to, yeah, not much public order issues in Ardabil. And we'll move our Nazim Isadid back to Esfahan as well. So we got some repairs going, we got some unit replenishment going, so that is good. So I think just looking at the front line again, I think our main focus will need to be in North Africa. Let's see, Britain's asking for peace. They're at war with quite a few of our allies. Let's counter the trade and see if they were happy. Nope, they don't want to accept that. That's fine. So France is still not happy with us after our war with Spain. We did not support the Dutch. Russia, this is going to be a tricky one. I think we should maybe go for trade. Yeah, we're going to go for trade. I know we've been at war with them for so long, but maybe if we are trading with the Russians, then we would stop the future wars coming through. United Provinces and Great Britain are enemies, and it looks like on the minimap the United Provinces have taken France. Okay, so that puts us in a more precarious situation. United Provinces taking France means that, yeah, France has been destroyed once again, and Württemberg has been destroyed, so it looks like Hanover have taken Württemberg as well. Spain, United Provinces are at war, so yeah, so we think the United Provinces might push down into Spanish territory, which is what we don't want to happen. I think we'll trade with the Russians, and potentially I think we need to get some trade with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. Okay, only because our income is so low at this point. I think it's like 900 expected for the next treasury update. So let's get some trade with the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth. We are trading with everyone, and we only currently at war with Great Britain and the Spanish Empire. Can we take the British out of this segment? Nope, they are still remaining at war with us. So the British are now going to become the new Russians at this rate. Oh man. We don't want to give them indefinite access to our territory. Yep, no, the British are not happy with peace. So that's fine. We have peace on our eastern front across the whole of the empire. We're allies with the Maratha Confederacy, so that's keeping our southwestern regions secure. Our central eastern regions are secured by the Prussians with our alliance with them. So at the moment the only real issues that we have, bar the Russians and Poles breaking our trade agreement, are the Spanish. So I think we can get our forces out and move towards Tunis on the next turn. So yeah, I think we are ready to now focus all our attention directly on the North African holdings of the Spanish Empire and move forward to that victory of capturing Morocco and Spain. So I think that's it for today. If you found this enjoyable, please leave a like and subscribe, as this really helps the channel to grow. Drop a comment about the Ottoman Empire's progress so far and anything you would have done differently. As always, thanks for watching. I'm F. See you next time.